As you know, we've spent $350 billion approximately on this war with Russia and Ukraine, and would like to see it end. It wasn't my war, it was Biden's war. It's not my war, I'm trying to get you out of it. And we want to see it end. And I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple. And they'll be at 100%. And that's the way it is. It can be more simple. It's just the way it is. I hope we don't have to do it.
Donald Trump's art of the deal played out again today. First, he embarrassed himself, then gave his opponent more leverage, and finally threw a tantrum. In a bizarre NATO meeting, Trump made a shocking comment about Putin and then ranted about Ukraine, until the NATO leader shut him down and fact-checked him on the spot. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting the work that we're doing on this channel. Now, of course, we have seen Trump freak out over Putin a lot over the last couple of days, but his most recent announcement actually comes as a shock after he's realized Putin has been playing him.
And one of the reasons that you're here today is to hear that we are very unhappy, I am, with Russia. But we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%. You'd call them secondary tariffs. You know what that means. But today we're going to talk about something else. And as you know, we've spent $350 billion approximately on this war with Russia and Ukraine, and would like to see it end. It wasn't my war, it was Biden's war. It's not my war, I'm trying to get you out of it. And we want to see it end. And I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple. And they'll be at 100%. And that's the way it is. It can be more simple. It's just the way it is. I hope we don't have to do it.
So I've got one question for you, Donald. You said this war would be resolved on day one. Today isn't day one, and 50 days from now won't be either. What happened to that promise? You break every promise. No new wars, ending wars, Epstein files, all gone. Trump thinking he can use tariffs for peace is laughable since no one takes them seriously. It's all a show so he can look strong, but that won't work now. As Trump admits, Putin is playing him. He can't blame Biden anymore, though he still tried in this meltdown. This clip is right here.
Any questions, please? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. What was the tipping point for you in making this decision? Was it a conversation with President Putin? Was it a piece of intelligence? And why are you giving 50 more days?
I think I think it's a very short period of time. I think, don't forget, I've just really been involved in this for not very long. And it wasn't initial focus. This is a Biden war. This is a Democrat war, not a Republican or Trump war. This is a war that would have never happened. It shouldn't have happened. A lot of people being killed. When the final numbers come in, you're going to see a lot more people are being killed in this war than you think, than you've been writing about. It's a very deadly war. They're all bad, but this is a very deadly war. The numbers are going to be far greater. When an apartment house comes down, and they say 2 people were slightly injured. No, many people were killed. And those numbers will be at some point accurately reported. So far, they're not. It's a deadly war. I think that you're just going to see, I think you're going to see strong movement. I hope so. I hope so.
And what about
the secondary tariffs are very, very powerful.
What about the tariffs that...
So this is Joe Biden's war. But Trump claimed he'd solve it on day one. And didn't, because it was too difficult. Why doesn't any reporter ask him, if you could have prevented it, why can't you stop it now? He has no answer. He's mad at Putin and also mad at Zelensky, even though Zelensky did everything he asked. Really, Trump is just heartbroken that Putin doesn't love him anymore. He's still trying to cozy up to him with bizarre comments about Zelensky that NATO quickly shut down. This clip is right here. NATO leader Mark Rutte immediately shut down Trump's weird hypothetical that maybe Ukraine doesn't want peace. Mark said, "No, what are you talking about? Ukraine has always worked toward peace." Trump just mumbled, "Well, I don't know." Ukraine has begged for peace and even agreed to ridiculous deals. Meanwhile, Putin keeps breaking trust and ceasefires. Trump only wants controversy because we know who really controls him. Putin. Trump isn't mad about lives lost. He's mad Putin keeps humiliating him instead of giving him an easy win. This clip is right here.
In the world. So that's the story. We hope that's going to have an impact on Vladimir Putin, and we hope it's going to have an impact on Ukraine also. We want to make sure that Ukraine does what they have to do. All of a sudden they may feel emboldened, or maybe they don't want. You know, this is a very difficult situation.
Ukraine wants a peace deal.
I think so.
And they will stay committed to that, there's no doubt. They want it. But the Russians have to become
They have to
serious.
continue to want it, though.
Yeah, I agree. But you and I will make sure of that.
All of a sudden they get no.
You and I will make sure of that.
We'll make sure. I feel confident that they will do what has to be done. Plus, we have certain parameters that both.
Of course, Trump is ranting about what he saw on TV this morning. No surprise. But Donald, you don't have deals. The so-called deals with the UK and Vietnam aren't even real. They're just letters. He even dropped the UK deal, which was humiliating. Trump has no clue, no real agreements, and it's all a dysfunctional mess. He can't think ahead without threatening a reporter. This clip is right here.
You praised European countries today as standing up for Ukraine, as being strong. Will you allow them to continue to negotiate tariffs lower than 30% before August 1st, or is the deal set at this point?
What does that mean? You mean you're talking about the tariffs?
On trade, on tariffs.
You're back on tariffs. You're on a more friendly tariff, right? A little bit more friendly tariff.
Perhaps.
No, we're going to be talking to people. We have, you know, I watched the show this morning. They were talking about, well, when's he going to make the deal? The deals are already made. The letters are the deals. The deals are made. There are no deals to make. They would like to do a different kind of a deal, and we're always open to talk. We are open to talk, including to Europe. In fact, they're coming over. They'd like to talk to us.
Don't ask me that type of question. Like an important question that gets clarity on Ukraine, which Trump has no strategy for. The art of the deal apparently means falling on your face and humiliating yourself. Why does he think he deserves respect on foreign policy? The no new wars guy bombed Iran in an unconstitutional strike that failed and made things worse. Trump has no idea what's going on. Just listen to him talk. This clip is right here.
If Putin escalates further, how far are you willing to go in response?
In what?
How far are you willing to go if Putin were to escalate, send more bombs in the coming days?
Don't ask me a question like that. How far? I want to get the war settled. They're not Americans that are dying in it, and you know I have a problem, and JD has a problem. It's a stance that he's had for a long time. They're not Americans dying, but there are a lot of people dying, and on something that should be able to be settled. And we all agree with that. This group of people, you know, we want to defend our country, but you know.
Yes, Donald, there are countries and leaders in Europe who believe in democracy and don't want to see a sovereign nation invaded by Putin. Trump talking about not wanting to pay is ridiculous. He still doesn't get what NATO is. He thinks he's paying NATO directly. It's wild he's been around this long and still doesn't understand. He needs Fox News graphics and toys to stay focused like a cat chasing keys. Trump doesn't even know what paying for it means. Speaking of paying, Gavin Newsom has been highlighting how California is a donor state, and it's important. This clip is right here.
What separates our game from the game played elsewhere is innovation, entrepreneurialism, more patents, more engineers, more researchers, more Nobel laureates in my state than any other damn state, more Fortune 500 companies in my state than any other state. Look that up, because I know people are rolling their eyes and saying, no, it's Texas. You're wrong.
It's true. I looked it up.
And we're, by the way, a donor state. We provided $83.1 billion more than we received from the federal government. Texas took $71.1 billion. I'm not saying that to bash Texas, but you know what? Pretty proud of my goddamn state.
I saw
Punching
that
above
too.
our weight, man. But AI,
Can you repeat those numbers?
$83.1 billion we provided more to the federal government than we received in the same year that Texas received $71.1 billion more than they provided to the federal
So
government.
you're a net positive.
Net positive. 9 out of 10 of the donor states are Trump states, and I don't mean that pejoratively, Trump. 7 of the 10 are Republican states, but 9 out of the 10 dependent states, welfare states, are Trump states. The donor states disproportionately the blue states. 71% of the country's GDP comes from blue counties. These same crack-up counties with all these crazy liberals that can't get out of their own goddamn way, and the world's come to an end. It's 71% of the economy of the goddamn country, man.
I love Gavin Newsom donor state line, and Democrats should use it more. Blue state and cities get maligned so often while they are actually paying for red state. You think New York and California are not sending huge tax dollar to the federal government? Meanwhile, food stamp and Medicaid cuts mostly hurt red areas, and rural hospitals there are closing. A slush fund was built from California money. We should keep hammering this message. Thanks for watching this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you can drop the blue art in the comments, and until next time, I will see you soon.